What it do, Moody?
What's up? What's up?
A little late, but we on time.
Yeah, exactly. CPT as usual.
What is good? We got any Percy's?
Yeah, I got one. It's funny because I was about to come up with a DWYT, don't waste your time. And then I was like, I'm being too rough on this. So this is just a back from the couch.
Okay.
But Supercell 2024. I'm good at like random picking of things. We were just talking about like flipping through, just stuff. And the only reason I watched it is because of Cole's script that he sent me. And like in text, he was like, I know it'll feel a little bit like Supercell. And I was like, I remember seeing that tile. I never watched it. But
Yeah.
only 6 episodes, season 1. I mean, clearly they want to keep going with this. I don't know how long, but like 6 episodes, all British cast. It's, probably a BBC show, I would imagine. But yeah, black kids, or not kids, but like black people start getting some awakened powers, and every episode is like the name of the person, basically.
Okay.
And we're tying it all together, and then our main character has seen the future, and is basically trying to like Nick Fury it, like bring people together for the threat that's coming. Us not knowing really what the threat is, but So that's really the premise of it without giving away too much. But came out last year. I think it was 2024 or 2023. Very recent. And yeah, 6 episodes, an hour piece, 45 minutes, whatever you want to call it.
It's on Netflix? Okay. I feel like I've seen the tile for that.
Yeah, so you can just, because I was on Netflix, and that's how me and Trina were in the room, and like, that tile of like, weekend, like binge or something like that. And I was like, 6 episodes? Yeah, I'll knock this out. I was like, Cole did mention this. So yeah, I watched that. And for however predictable that it felt, it was still well executed, which is why I was like, yeah, let me walk this back a bit. So, and it reminded me, I don't know, have you heard of the series The Misfits? There was also a British show, and that's back when me and the missus were dating. I think she put me on, that was one of those early Hulu originals or something, but gave me a little bit of that too. So, but that's my Percy. Supercell 2024. Watch it if you want to.
Yeah, I don't have much in the Warrior Percy's. I think the only thing I probably think of that kind of similar would be just, I told you, just trying to catch up on my movie average of the year going to the theater, because I was like looking at it compared to my past years. Like I said, the first year when I got the movie pass, I did about like 89 movies in the year, and then the next year I did like 87, so about 88 on an average. And before the last couple weeks, because I've been going ham the last 2 weeks, I think the last 2 weeks seen like 8 movies.
Damn, yeah, that's a lot.
In theaters. Yeah, and so like this week was 4, and I believe last week was like 4, but or maybe 3, so maybe 7 or 8. But yeah, prior to that, I was a little like slipping of the average. So I'm like, all right, I picked back up. Like I think I'm gonna get at least the average, because the ones that I know that I have planned, like Avatar and Marty Supreme and Anaconda, just because I'm like, that seems like a fun dumb movie and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, the ones that I know about, I'm gonna do, and then you got all the other ones where it's like, I watched, like I said, Saving Private Ryan for free because it was Veterans Day and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I've seen that movie plenty of times, but I've never seen it in theaters. So yeah, I'll watch that in theaters.
Take it up a notch
and whatnot. So I think I'll probably get to about my average. I'd like to break 90 one day. Like like to get to 100, but that seems like I gotta like go out the way and watch like a lot of shit that I really don't care to
watch.
So, but yeah, got to be at least back on my average, getting close to my average. But let's get into this show
for sure.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit.
The crowd is the Amish days. Samson, my back support.
Rich 5 row, off the top rope. Wrestling Re-Up podcast.
Weekly stroll the avenue of wrestling.
Follow us on our social here for this YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. All the social media. Everything.
Episode 71 of the Wrestling Re-Up podcast. Another week where we don't have to worry about a pop-up show, but we'll get one next week with Full Gear, and then the week after that we have Survivor Series War Games. So But for now, let's say we'll enjoy the time where this is feels like the longest stretch of shows without a pop up. But you have any 71s?
I completely forgot. I'll get it by the end of the episode. Okay, let's just get into the rest.
Yeah, especially because we got a chock full of shit on the gallery.
I was surprised you went in and added stuff because we'll get into it.
I usually don't do that, but yeah,
you usually don't do it, and I felt like those two things were obvious. They're monumental, but big enough,
So let's get into the Raw recap. We can go ahead straight into the what you call it, right?
Mm-hmm. You beat me to a lot of this week on Raw and NXT.
Yeah. Usually I'm watching Raw, but actually no, because I went to the movies no, I didn't. Yeah, so I was at home watching Raw for the most part.
I'm always at work for the beginning of the week.
Yeah. Bringing up this calendar. What did you have?
I agreed with you on the primos that we got. Yeah. Cena.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Becoming Intercontinental Champion.
Kicked off the show, right?
Yeah, that's the beginning of the show. That's obviously the biggest news there. I was wondering.
Cena.
Yeah, I was wondering about I could only put this in primo where I was because him being in the match with Dom, I was like, you can't have it lower than just because of the event of it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have this lower than a primo, even though I thought the match was. The match was fine, but the ending was guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? He said it in his promo that he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
So really, I think without beating too much into the match itself, because it's not about that. It's about going forward. And we were having an in-depth conversation of who's this person that's going to be, crowned in the last time is now, tournament. So now the title's on the line, assumingly, unless he wrestles another date.
I said he has.
Well, yeah. You said he has a match. I keep forgetting
next week at MSG.
So, in the case that they do that this week, he could lose the title possibly.
I said he probably loses. I said Javon. My prediction that I said off the pod was Javon has his match with Gunther, which I have that listed in the shake, but that's just because that's news for next week. But Javon versus Gunther in the last time it's now tournament match. Javon, I think currently outside of possibly of Joe Hendry, who's now signed officially to WWE as Solo's mystery opponent. Javon is currently the only NXT roster member in that tournament.
Yeah.
He is also the show. John Cena also said Saturday night's main event is going to be an NXT showcase against the main roster. So that every match on there is going to be a main roster versus an NXT superstar.
Important note that he said, yeah.
Javon Evans is the only one there. I said if the winner of Javon versus Gunther is going to basically face John Cena at Saturday night's main event. And I could see Javon pulling off. I could see Javon losing to Gunther, but Javon getting a title shot for John Cena's IC title and winning it by the end of Raw next week.
All right. But yeah, that's a hell of a shot call because honestly, I think it's because Gunther doesn't gain anything from beating Cena, really. I was already saying he's already well established. He's a 2-time world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but you could also position him as the legend killer.
Sure, you could. And that's believable too. But
and having that under his belt too, we always talk about who has that belt of saying I'm the last person to beat John Cena. And right now I have it as Javon, but if Gunther goes there and beats him at Saturday night's main event, it's okay, Gunther having that kind of mantle on his, trophy case. That's some credibility you can't take away.
Yeah. It's going to be significant for anybody who beats him, no matter who it is. But
John Cena becoming Grand Slam champion, though, what do you think about that? Insignificant.
Well, I just mean in the sense that we knew, like I said, that's why I was I can't put it top shelf because it's so guaranteed of knowing that he's on the way out the door and everything. That's why, it's just such a telegraph setup. That's all.
I wouldn't say because Dominic also could have cheated or something. There could have been some schmozzy finish where maybe even that match doesn't even end with an outcome.
Okay, well, I was gonna just seeing that. I mean, we had the whole promo, and like you said, the beginning of it, and I believe when he says he's unbeatable. So it's like I understand all of that, but like, there's no way in that position that I believe, like you said, it could have been a schmozzy finish or whatever. But I did not believe that that match was going to end with Dom over top of Cena. Did not believe that was the way it was going to end. And however it ended, it damn sure wasn't ending in like that. That's all I'm saying. So, but the other big thing that I had up here, or that you had actually, because you put up here, the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, 2 title changes. The same night.
Yeah, that's also like significant Raw news. Yeah.
Kabuki Warriors over the Charlotte and Alexa and new women's tag team champions, and getting War Games match. Rhea came out afterwards, and then she was did her best impression of William Regal calling out for a War Game. So we have Kabuki Warriors and Nia and Lash Legend.
Okay, yeah.
Versus
We're Not Friends. Charlotte and Alexa.
And Rhea and Io.
Got you. Okay.
But right now, we also see later in SmackDown that Charlotte doesn't trust Rhea and walked out. So
yep, that did happen.
Conflict in that team. Obviously, you have to build that up. But yeah, kind of surprised, but not surprised. Like I said, I think we talked about the Kabuki Warriors being like actually like winning the titles and then possibly Lash and Nia taking it after them. But no, I mean, I think this was a great match, obviously overall, and then obviously even the fact that there was a title change already earlier in the night, that we actually got 2, and this actually happened because this was the main event.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, okay, like, let's go. I also said that it's also predictable that the faces are going to be winning. Like, let it, beyond the fact that they have Rhea and Io on the same team, the faces are going to get that match, because now that it's like, okay, you lost your titles, we can get this War Game match.
Exactly.
Like
get the get back,
to get the get back. So, but overall, great. Another primo.
For sure. We got the because the assist. Wait, was this the second time? I mean, Lash and Nia are on SmackDown, right? Yeah. But this ended in interference, or not? It didn't end in interference, but somebody interfered. Or was it during the? What was the spot? Because Charlotte got thrown into like the corner turnbuckle. I could have sworn somebody. Maybe it was just Asuka that like maybe she, because I don't think a mist came out in that match.
I don't think so.
I feel like somebody. Maybe I'm imagining that. I felt like somebody.
I haven't seen Raw since a week. So I
know it's always tough to remember, but it's fine. Either way, like you said, just the fact that we had 2 title changes and both great matches in a vacuum is already like, okay.
Yeah, one of the better shows.
Yeah, for sure. I would say low seed for, individual show of the year. I guess. Well, there's a very low seed.
Because there's a contender this week for probably show of the year.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get to Dynamite when we get to it. And then everything else I had shakes. I didn't have any mids though. So Stephanie Vaquer had a match against Raquel.
Yeah.
And
retained because the title was on the line.
Yeah. And afterwards she started getting jumped by
Roxanne
as well. And so Nikki comes out, makes the save. They're, holding hands. She's, holding hands up with the champ. And then all of a sudden, Nikki turns on Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you can see he was kind of predictable, especially from the promo last week, that, like, Nikki was going to turn on her. But I like this. I'm just curious as, like, is she, now that she's a heel, does she have an actual chance of knocking off Stephanie to win the title?
No, but I like the character change. Yeah, it makes her a serious threat, but in the sense of like, hey, we make predictions. There's no way she's losing that match. That's how I kind of answer that question.
Brie comes out of nowhere and like
Twin Magic again? Nah. They share that. Would be dope.
Twin Magic, or I mean, that'd be dope. But even
and we get like Lay Cool, like them sharing the title again.
Or like she just came out and what you call it, like brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Like Stephanie, while the ref wasn't looking.
I mean, that's an interesting thought. Like similarly,
she's in a black hoodie and everything. You can't see who it is, and then she takes off the joint. It's like, oh my god, it's Brie Bella.
Yeah, see, I think it's funny you say that just because. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that would still work for me if that happened, but I'd be like, similarly to like when you said CM Punk came, or you were like, I don't need him holding the title.
Yeah,
I would still think Nikki's got a lot of work to make me care at this point, or more so at that level where I would be into her being the champion. You know what I'm saying? That's a bigger gap versus, where Punk was at, to hold the title. In my mind.
Okay.
And especially where I'm at with Stephanie Baker, because like I said, I'm basically like, she's like Asuka Jr., in training or whatever. Hey, she ain't got a whole lot of English, but that shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So that's working for me so good that I'm like, all right, well, Nikki, your character's going to have to be on point if you're going to be champion. That's what I'm saying. So,
Rusev and Sheamus both advance in the last time is now tournament. And like I said, already mentioned, Javon Evans versus Gunther announced for next week.
Yeah.
For last time is now. We also got Penta versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Next week in the last time is now tournament match.
Mention that because as we were discussing it, I think Penta's another like outside looking in. I'd like him to win this. You know what I'm saying? Because he also hasn't held any title.
Yeah.
So I think he could make that the, I don't want to say make it the workman's title. It is historically. I mean, we're doing the U.S. title open challenge, but I think as long as he's not wasted as the champion and we can get like at least a storyline, I think like Penta, like the Rocket would be great for him too.
Yeah.
But he would be like my third pick, like you said. Like I would have Javon before that and like maybe somebody else. But yeah, still that's all the way updated. Last time is now everything we know. At this point, except for the matches that we get on SmackDown.
Yeah,
obviously later
I feel like there
week.
was another match that was announced as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe by the time we get to SmackDown.
And the only shake that I put on here, because I think you covered everything, like I said, you beat me to it. But I was like, I originally put this as Maxine's beating Becky next week.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Maxine better beat her. Like, I'm pulling for her, but I still don't think. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee for sure, but the fact that, I really like the segment of Maxine, working herself up enough to being like, I'm ready. You said I got, my shot. I'm ready. And she's already had a shot at it. And like, that's why I really like this story. That's why I think this would be her second.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. I would like this to be a third time's the charm. Maybe situation. Maybe she gets really close and like, Becky just cheats one more time or something. But
it is MSG. You want to give people
is it? Okay, well, yeah, maybe that's where I was because I had that in thought when I originally wrote this. I'd be forgetting details. But
and they're in MSG next week.
It's gonna be a bit, and clearly with the title changes, this is the reset for the road to WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? At least the whole
consider that, I guess.
Yeah, the early one, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but what? How far is Rumble? Rumble is
2 months away.
2 months. Yeah, I mean, you could. We always say the road to WrestleMania is after Rumble because we know we should know the main card. But like, I would expect a lot of these title holders to hold these titles through that time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, that would be dope. I'm looking forward to hopefully, fingers crossed, Maxine beating Becky. I would love for Becky to tap out, to the ankle lock.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be crazy.
Because I don't think she's gotten because we got to see the visual. Has she gotten a visual win? She's got a count out win on her, but she
had one on the ropes. Like her feet were on the ropes.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
But I think she got a 2 count on that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. A visual win where like it'll be in this time maybe ref bump, but Becky's tapping. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we know that that's what I mean by the visual win. But like, the ref is like doesn't see the 1, 2, 3, because they're outside the ring, and it's like no, she should be champion, because that'll be Max, regardless if she wins or loses. That'll be her biggest match of her career up to this point. And Becky, we know, is great at working with all these young women. Honestly,
it's gonna be a great match. But yeah,
I'm really looking forward to this.
Ends up winning.
I'm prepping myself for this. Will be a top shelf. I'm prepping myself because just for her, it'll be like a Zack Ryder on the top of the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Pulling down the IC title. Yeah. If she taps out Becky, oh bro, I'm going crazy. Yeah. I'm going crazy. And MSG, all right, man.
Especially is like how it fits Becky's character to be like, I'm the best and this, that, and third, and you can't fake.
And she's delusional. Yeah,
you can't fake a submission.
Yeah, she beat you, dog. She beat you.
Anything else from Raw?
Nah, all that's it.
We can head straight into the bodega.
Yeah, once again, you beat me on this, but the only thing I was really interested. I mean, I'm just gonna start. We both had this at mid. I felt like it had the possibility of being a primo, but then again, we only got an hour on NXT, and this last man standing was what, like 15 minutes, like counting the entrances too. So because this was like they were fighting through the crowd and all this stuff. They kept the action potent. I really did like that. But we got Ricky retaining against Trick in the last man standing match.
Yeah.
I really like this, the right before the end spot where, Trick shots Ricky in the crowd. Like, and it's funny because like when he gets hit with it, he gets like he knocks him out, but like there's all the chairs there, so he like goes into a seated position.
Yeah.
But then like he realizes that like, oh yeah, this is the last man standing, so I gotta like get on the ground. And then he starts counting, and they change the camera angle where like Trick is like, I'm the best, whatever, standing up, in the crowd, and then interceptor spear like off of the barricade or the crowd barrier to like through the table. Great spot. I thought that was gonna be the 10 count right there. Just have Ricky stand up, but then we get the dramatic pulling each other up, and that didn't work for me.
Yeah,
honestly,
I can understand that.
And with just the push down because you're too weak, I was like, Trick should have just stayed dead.
Yeah.
Like, so this had to be a mid, but it was a great for what it was, and hopefully, this is like I'm not double booked, but I'm double baked. I think Trick is double baked at this point. Like I said, he was a full baked potato, overcooked. There we go, overcooked too. But like I said, even with that, he did the character change and did Trick NA and shit, became champion. So that's a whole different new twist on his character. So that works. But get your ass on the main roster.
Hey, maybe he might be Solo's.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one.
Surprise opponent on Monday.
And we get the reunion of Trick Mellow Gang too on SmackDown.
I'd like to see
because Lash is on SmackDown.
Especially if they're both like holding like separate titles but are still connected. But that wasn't the end of the show. We got quickly a return. Femi.
Yeah, that was dope. That was very good camera work on his return. Also, like the big ominous. That looks like a freaking the cover of a comic book.
Yeah.
Like the shot of like Ricky bloody mouth, right after the match holding the title, but he has the imposing shadow of Obafemi, clearly coming for him. And also somehow bigger. Like bigger than he already was.
Well, they like whatever
it's like
program that they got when they're like in these rehabs or whatever they're doing in their off time. It's crazy.
Like it reminds me of like when Moxley left and like came back when he was first hurt in WWE and he was still Dean Ambrose. It was like, oh yeah, that was the first time when you saw the neck bulge out, and then he did the same thing in AEW, and it's like, oh yeah, he's as big as he's ever been. Fucking Obafemi looks like I mean he's got to be on the main roster. Like it could be him too. Maybe he loses, but I mean separate universes. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where I would be upset right now. Because if Obafemi beats Ricky and stays on NXT, this will be a Trick situation. Or like where Trick was with me like 7 months ago or whatever it was. Where it's like, bro, he's already ready. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can see, yeah.
Now, granted, if he doesn't, like, maybe he cheats, maybe he heel turns, and like, because Obafemi, he's always been sort of an asshole. I see him as a tweener. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me my respect or whatever, and stay the fuck out my way kind of thing. Is his character. So if he feels the need to, like, steel chain punch somebody, Ricky, for no reason, even though he didn't have to, character change, sure. If you want to do a little bit more actual character versus, like, I'm just a badass,
Yeah.
That's something to work on in NXT, but
I mean, I can see Obafemi debuting on the main roster at the Rumble.
I mean, that'd be fire. Just have him have a showcase, like have him eliminate, like
maybe he's a Final Four.
Exactly, yeah. Give him that look. There's always somebody like that. So, because even Gunther, he went down to the last 3-2 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So even before he won, and we had the face off with him and Brock.
Yeah,
that happened at the Rumble, so it'll be Obafemi facing off with somebody. That's a good thought. But take me through these shakes that you had.
Yeah, Jasper Troy defeated El Grande Americano to won the Speed Championship, and I'm like, this makes sense as far as like logistics, because again, the speed matches are 3 minutes, and it's like a guy of Jasper Choi's size. I'm like, oh yeah, this is just easily worthwhile squash matches for him to have. It's like there's a title, there's a match concept. It's like for him to destroy somebody in a minute and a half or 45 seconds.
And I know a lot of
wouldn't be surprising because he's such a big, agile monster that at least it works with him as a character. Why you would give him a Speed Championship?
Yeah, I mean, you're imagining this is just a perfect setup because NXT is usually a lot of smaller guys or younger guys anyway.
Yeah.
Where this is just set up for like he's gonna catch so many guys like doing a springboard, whatever the fuck, into just a black hole slam. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen over and over and over again. That's what's he's gonna like do a ripcord into it. Like, I could see that just like if he just sets it up like the Rainmaker because he's so strong, just have it like just pull them into it and like do a spinning one. Yeah, that'd be fucking.
But yeah,
set up for him and make him, feature him actually, like you're saying, because it's like you have to make all of what was it, the show that he came from,
Evolve.
It wasn't Evolve. No.
LFG.
LFG. There you go. You got to make this is the on Masked Man. I guess they call it the Unreal Era. Oh yeah, that's the other show on Netflix. So yeah, just even breaking the fourth wall. Like we already broke kayfabe, but now this is like the fourth wall to another degree.
I mean,
in the era that we're in. Yeah. So you have to make all of that stuff feel the gravitas. Like, oh yeah, LFG, he won this, and then he's not only does he make the big impact, like he was featured literally the very next week after he won LFG when that episode was released. Then he debuted and had an impact, and now you can see it's like okay, he's moving up the roster actually. So.
And then the other two that I haven't shaked, they're kind of similar.
No, I have not. Poor thing. It's all right. We out here in the neighborhood, people. Yeah. Somebody, poor lady, lost her cat.
We're on the lookout. The other two that I have are pretty similar. First, Ren Sinclair has been pretty fun the last few weeks while Charlie Dempsey's been out in like Japan. Her building up like the Ren QCC and whatnot, and just like she's kind of got like a very fun, like enthusiastic personality that I'm like, okay, yeah, this character's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying her and her building up her squad as far as like trying to get the women's version of QCC going on.
I need to see that segment. I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's been killing it the last few weeks. She's been entertaining. And then the same thing, Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame.
Yeah.
Their dynamic is fun, even if you know the outcome is predictable as hell. Like the way Tatum plays it is really dope, and then Izzy's acting towards that. Like there's a good dynamic between that. That again, I really enjoy it, even if like that Izzy Dame is going to turn on Tatum Paxley. I'm also curious to see what the rest of the calling who they side with, whether it be Tatum or Izzy. But again, all three women, I enjoy the characters and the dynamics that they're putting out on a weekly basis.
Speaking of breaking the fourth wall with Tatum Paxley, I also watched there was a YouTube upload of her like the behind the scenes basically right before.
I saw that upload. I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay, her right before winning the title and directly after, and I think it's cool once again because it's like the culling is like getting featured like more. I mean, it's having the return, like we had the return of Sean Spears, and we know that like even we had the segment as far as like the Tony D'Angelo like storyline and stuff, and him actually winning the North American title, and everything as like a good stable basis for the culling. Where seeing him in the YouTube, like behind the scenes, it's like, oh yeah, he's actually back as like a vet coach. You know what I'm saying, for like this entire group. Okay. That's actually what he's doing.
Okay,
because he's not in ring as much as he used to be.
Fair.
But
that's fair. That makes sense. Yeah,
and it was just cool to see. Like, obviously, I mean, it's her first title win anyway. Everybody's gonna encourage you, but I just thought it was a nice moment between her and Sean Spears.
Okay, so I'll check that out.
Yeah,
I didn't. You say that, I'm like, oh yeah, Sean Spears really hasn't even been in the ring like that. But yeah, that makes sense. Like, but yeah, that's it for me at the bodega.
Yeah, you covered it well.
I know Kaylani and Jordan Grace. I feel like they got another match. She got.
Oh, they set up for another one.
I think she has like a triple threat next week. on like the other episode of Gold Rush or whatnot.
Mm.
But yeah, not much there. That pretty tame episode for NXT overall though. Again, we can head straight to another store. News is pretty light, even though I guess we did talk through some of the news.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite, Blood and Guts. And
yeah, very short. Yeah,
that was a year. There was a third match that I was like, I don't need to watch that. Really, like it was Hangman and
Powerhouse Hobbs. Yeah,
Hangman won that,
of course.
But what'd you think of that? We'll start with that. If you had that anywhere,
I had. It's funny because I almost put it in shake, and I was like, this match was like too good.
Yeah,
to like not put it in mid, because I mean, even with like the strength of like Hangman being the S tier like main character of AEW, I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs is a big nigga. As simple as that. So it's like just watching him like chop the big man down. Like he's not Samoa Joe, but like it's still a lot of gravitas on just the straight up, power difference between the two.
Okay.
So solid enough, but this isn't what we was here for. That's why I was like, it's too good to be in shake, but it's effectively shake for this episode.
Yeah.
Because the feature is Blood and Guts.
Yeah. And we have first women's one, and we had the men's one, which was Darby Allin.
And the conglomeration.
Versus
all the Death Riders, basically.
Death Riders and
it was just Death Riders.
Yeah, so
because it was 5-on-5.
You had that as a mid, and I guess that's because the women's was better.
No, both were.
Because I would say like they both were pretty much primo.
Yeah, I guess maybe I thought I had the maybe I'm being too tough on. I think it's
maybe the women's is top shelf and the men's was
maybe I'm scaling it wrong. That could be it. But
because
I'm like because you also feature I
put the women's top shelf because that was a pretty great match overall and there was some great storytelling and whatnot.
In both matches, we're able to feature like somebody who you would say is like lower in the mid card and like coming out really good because either way. I'll put this in primo for sure, but the winner of like the men's, or like I said, I had his MVP was like Kyle O'Reilly, and like just watching his like even at the end of the match, like getting the tap out on Moxley, and can't help but keep pushing the story forward. It's like, bro, the last 2 times Moxley has been in a decision, he has tapped out. That's what's happened.
And that's the storyline that I'm glad that they're building to. I just hope Claudio's the one that actually takes over and like becomes the head honcho of the Death Riders.
That's what I
starts making a push for Hangman's
AEW title.
Like that's what I'm hoping for. But I don't know if they would go that direction.
Yeah, I mean these are. And the thing I like about Blood and Guts is that these matches are just like sort of like the contained like anarchy in the arena because there's just like so many people.
Yeah.
Obviously, so many mechanics going up to this because this is like really a fun spot fest like Armageddon, the 6-man Hell in a Cell, type of shit.
I do like that.
And I like that
element of how like extreme the matches are. It's like it does give a different dynamic than War Games, even though the matches are fairly much like logistically the same. Like the fact that they bring out all this other stuff of violence like that you don't really get with War Games. You get like the typical like trash bins and tables and whatnot.
Yeah,
you don't really and ladders.
This is definitely a primo. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but because they're just thinking about spot after spot after spot. It's like man, seeing Briscoe and Wheeler Yuta like climb up to the top and like he hits. Jay Driller on top of the cage.
Yeah.
And then you got like earlier in the match when Darby Allin is like climbing on like the inside of the cage and then into a coffin drop into everybody. Like
Orange Cassidy getting his hands.
That was like one of the best hardcore spots. Yes. Getting his hands stapled into his pockets. That was great. The finish of the match with Kyle O'Reilly looking great. Because they still had the energy between him and Moxley to do like chain wrestling in glass.
Yeah.
Where he has an ankle lock on him. And then Moxley does like the swim of the leg, pull you down. Then he's able to put the chain in his mouth with a bulldog choke. And then he transitions out of that into like an arm bar into another ankle lock, and that's what taps him out. And
Yeah.
it's like, geez, Moxley dragging Darby. Darby, obviously being a crash test dummy, but being dragged through through the glass initially, and
he
also
got
being
tossed off by Pac through the flaming tables.
Through the flaming tables.
Yeah.
Perfect bumps by him, and it was like, Jesus Christ. But
yeah, that's a primo.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly tapping out Moxley after all of that. But spots from the bad guys, though. Man, Claudio, like that old school, I don't know, I forget. I think bow and arrow.
Choke while he was doing the
spinning. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was great. But when Daniel Garcia had him set up with the old school bow and arrow, and then catapulted Darby into an uppercut, I was like, oh, dog. That was sick. Yeah. Like, it was great all the way around.
But yeah, they also had the women's one, which I think was the best thing. Was the best thing
for sure.
That kicked off the show. We had the heel women: Mercedes, Megan Bayne, Marina Shafir, and Triangle of Madness.
Yep.
Get the win over Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, and Willow, and Jimmy Hayter.
Yep. This was absolutely great. With the ending of the match, I liked the whole like torturous like beating. We're getting a combo of Marina Shafir's, who I would have as, she would be second. MVP was Sky Blue, but Marina Shafir had like the great spots. But finishing it with the Mother's Milk, Von Flue choke, and Megan Bayne is also whipping Mina Shirakawa with one of Mercedes 13 titles. Like they just brought them all in the ring.
Yeah, I like that bit.
Yeah, I really like that. And then the other heel women are holding Tony back. So it's a verbal submission.
Like the love of her life.
Yeah, it's so funny because you were saying in the moment, you were like, yo, refs, Aubrey should have called this already. Like, Mina's already.
He's clearly passed out.
Yeah.
Like, you put the arm up once, it's flopping like a fish.
Yeah.
So you ring the bell.
It's funny, the kayfabe rules of that. I remember like back in the day growing up, it was always like the three.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
at some point it just turned into one, and it was like,
okay. Yeah. And then I feel like, because AEW is like I guess you would say a lot of WCW in there. So I feel like they've gone back to three, but or I feel like we've gone back and forth on that sometimes, or maybe it's just different wrestling companies.
So it depends on the story or like
exactly
or whatnot. Because it's The Rock. The Rock is getting 3.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, that third one. And it's like, oh my god. But yeah, Sky Blue ended up getting this.
Yeah.
Because she was the first one to start this match for the heel women.
She got
getting busted open early and getting a shot of adrenaline, being shot out of a cannon with like those, like when she was beating the hell out of women with the what was it, the kendo stick with the barbed wire until it broke. I forget who she broke that on. But and then there was the other spot when Toni Storm, she put a mirror. Who was that?
Yeah.
She put a mirror in somebody's face.
It was I want to say Marina Shafir.
Was that Marina? Yeah. She put it in put a mirror too. And I remember the commentary was like, oh, she's gonna show her what she looks like or something like this. And then doing like the hip check into that was crazy spot. Man, Mina, or not Mina, but Marina stomping in the glass.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And then stomping on the chest of
Mina.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit. Yeah, it's like, yo, she's just so tough. And she roundhouse kick when she first came out, Stat came to meet her, and then she like roundhouse kicked her into a bed of nails, outside of the ring. It was like, holy. I was like, that's a lesson in physics, Chris took that perfectly. You see her like bend herself slowly at the knees. Where I was like, that's all like good abs and knees. She like set herself on that versus like throwing herself back. But yeah, I love the ending of this. I'm trying to think. There was spots everywhere. Not as many. There's no fire spots in this. No. But
that's
still great.
Next year, they'll level it up.
I'm trying to think of like Tekla and what Julia Hart.
A lot of good moments.
Yeah,
too.
she did. She did hit the Penelope Ford like Matrix thing into like was it that's Penelope, into a roundhouse. Or no, it was like, oh no, it wasn't the Matrix. Well, she did do the Matrix, but it was into her taunt. That's what it was, because she does that thing. and she kept intercepting spear at everybody. That's right. Oh, and the girls, that's what happened. Julia Hart and her, remember they snuck out of the
through the side
yeah,
of the cage.
Out of the side of the cage. And you were like, why are they doing that? Like, I was like, okay.
But that makes sense because I didn't realize the whole thing was covered like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, it makes sense. Like that's the only way you can get out.
Yeah, that is. Because that's interesting. Because at what point did they like put the top on? Because in the men's, wasn't it open for a bit?
Well, I don't know how what's his face got on top. Wheeler Yuta got on top. I would need to rewatch that.
Yeah,
like it looked like because obviously Mark Briscoe climbed out from the outside.
Yeah,
Wheeler Yuta was inside, I believe.
Exactly.
I'm like, but he came through up the middle. So I'm like,
because when Darby Allin first was climbing on that, I remember seeing the opening. At that point in time. So it's like, at what point did they have that's a dope ass.
I gotta look at that cage again. See how that worked.
Because there's no way there's two cages. It's like, how did they fix that? But anyway, I mean, good job by them. I don't know how.
Maybe there's sliding.
That's maybe that's what it is. Yeah. That'd be it. But
great show overall.
Oh, Harley Cameron. Yeah, Harley Cameron. I couldn't forget my girls.
Mm-hmm.
And all three of them.
Yeah.
Harley and her girls that she brings with her.
Yes.
But getting a one up on Mercedes with this like long term, like Mercedes just she's not good enough to be in the ring with her, and like ripping off the puppet, the Mercedes puppet. And just sticking her with the brass knuckles. I like that spot too. So yeah, I really like that. Yeah.
Great show. Mm-hmm. Top show. One of the best shows of the
Only
year.
3 things. And like you said, they gave this to these people in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro, North Carolina for free on a Wednesday night.
Exactly. Probably one of the only things that we could actually afford in the front row, I was thinking.
Yeah. But that's it for...
Yeah. That's it.
The coffee shop. Mm-hmm. Let's get into a stacked book of wrestling. We haven't had this many items
ever
on Book of Wrestling, probably ever.
No,
I'd say especially in a long time.
Especially with you adding it, I like to go with because the bottom 3 are really the ones that I was like, okay, yeah, we all know this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
which one you want to start off with?
Let's go. All right, Eddie Guerrero passing away. Because as I'm researching this.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day this week, it's always like there's a segment for the passing of Eddie Guerrero. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he actually passed this day, and then on SmackDown this happened, and then on Raw this happened, and then we get the feature of Dom Mysterio and being modern Eddie Guerrero. It's very prevalent in our mind that Eddie is effectively Kobe when we know that he's gone too early. Mm-hmm. But not to say that we shouldn't acknowledge it. Obviously, but
that's exactly the tone you're giving off.
It is honestly, because it's one of those things. As a wrestling fan, I don't think we need to keep going over this. Where it's like, I remember where I was. It's one of those moments for me. So it's like, it's kind of like remembering 9/11, like in a wrestling sense. So it's like always remember or never forget. That's the phrase. And it's like, how could you, right? As long as if you're engaged with wrestling, you know exactly who the fuck Eddie Guerrero is, and I remember being in Mr. Thacker's English class when he brought up Eddie Guerrero passing because he was a wrestling fan and he was a young black man. So I'd give him maybe 30. But even still, Eddie Guerrero, as sad as this makes all of us, Jesus, was this week. November 13th, 2005. I think I just covered it. Like he was acute heart failure, 38, too young. Same thing, yeah. It's just it's a heartbreaker, but he will forever live on. He is that guy. There's no argument with him being in the wrestling GOAT conversation. If you want to put him up there, then he is. So
yeah, he's up there in my
especially in the modern era, generational.
Probably top 3 for me is my favorite all-time wrestler. But it seems like that you are very aggressively passionate about that.
Because it's like I said, it's like
I'll move over to the next one.
Yeah, it's like 9/11. It's like it's raw. It's raw. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Can you, like you said, you never even looked at Kobe's funeral. Have you looked at Kobe's funeral? Exactly. That's my point. Where it's like just remembering Eddie is gone is like, or like Nipsey Hussle, like just gone. Like, are you serious? I'm never gonna hear Nipsey Hussle again. That's how I feel. And like, yeah, that's like the roughest wrestling passing I've had.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. I'll take the next one. November 12th, 2018. Nia Jax breaks Becky Lynch's nose. As part of a competition between the Raw and SmackDown brands at Survivor Series, Lynch was scheduled for an inter-brand championship match, champion versus champion match against Raw's Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Lynch led an invasion of the Raw roster on November 12th episode of Raw, where she had a legit concussion and a broken nose following a punch from Nia Jax. Despite the injury, her seemingly unfazed reaction and images of her bloody face turned her into an overnight star. She later called the accident a, quote, a blessing in disguise. Due to the injury, Lynch was pulled from the match with Rousey named Flair in the match and with Rousey and named Flair as a replacement of the following night's episode on SmackDown. But yeah, you could say, I mean, she was calling herself the man before this. Like, just like not too far. It was like probably like a month or two. I think they said around SummerSlam. That's when she started calling herself the man. But yeah, if you ever needed like a site, almost like the Austin, 316, just whipped your ass moment. Like, it has to be
the star-making moment for sure.
Moment for Becky.
Like, you love. I mean, the most iconic moments you can have is like when you have like the bloody face submission. I think that's what Shoes was saying this week on The Masked Man. It's like, that's why bringing up Kyle O'Reilly being MVP is like when you're able to get like, let alone be an underdog, but have the bloody face W. It's like, that's those moments right there. And even though they were leaving through the crowd, just that shot of her is like, once again, if you're tapped in, I guess this is where I'm trying to reframe it. I try to think of the book of wrestling. I try to like bring up like, the international and like stuff that's lesser known. Because some things are like, in the current sense, so obvious, where obviously this is Becky's moment. If there's one moment, even with her changing her gimmick, like you said, prior to being the man, this was actually the man.
Yeah.
And the star making moment to be the Becky. And like, when we're looking at her legacy, I think it'll be, I don't want to just say a jump. It's not that it's insignificant, but like her character obviously wasn't all the way there. It'll go from like NXT 4 Horsewomen to this moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be like, holy shit. Like, Becky is absolutely
one
of the greats of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Shout out to Becky.
Oh, yeah. And then another one that's just like, I guess the history moment. I know you know this, so I'm not teaching you anything with this at all. And then this is also just a pay-per-view in general, where it's like, I don't want to just do the entire pay-per-view, but so much of it was, this whole setup was the moment.
Yeah.
November 15th, 1998, the Montreal Screwjob 2.0. WWF Survivor Series was held in St. Louis, Missouri, but didn't feature any traditional Survivor Series matches. Instead, the event played host to a deadly game tournament to crown a new WWF champion. Going into the event, the story depicted Mankind as Vince McMahon's chosen winner, as McMahon's gang of lackeys helped him through the rounds while seeming to attempt to put barriers in the way of The Rock and Stone Cold. It transpired that this was an elaborate ruse, as The Rock turned out to be McMahon's chosen champion and defeated McMahon with the sharpshooter in the main event as Mankind. Yeah, excuse me. I saw that was a double right there. Mankind and they're right next to each other. Brazenly reenacted the Montreal Screwjob from a year prior. Then when looking back at the incredibly well-booked tournament, viewers could easily see that it's easily set up for The Rock to win, but it's incredibly well hidden for the booking in the moment, basically. This thing, hindsight is 2020 for sure. But like in the moment, it's like, holy shit, that's amazing. For him to be corporate Rock in that moment.
I've seen the actual rewatching the old archives of Raw back in the day, and I'm like, yeah, that was a really good build-up, even on the weeks beforehand on Raw, because Shane was also beefing with with his dad and whatnot, and so they were. It was all a work, and like they just did it really well. And then obviously a year later, reenacting the Montreal Screwjob, and then creating corporate Rock. Who prior to that, The Rock was supposed to be a heel, but was getting cheered because he was just so charismatic that this kind of reinforced that he was a heel again. Really well done. One of Vince Russo's best works that he's put out. So, great moment.
For sure. What you got?
All this is the stuff that you put up. I'll go with.
Yeah, I know. Because like once I try to put stuff on here that's at least lesser known. Like all three of those are just like guaranteed. Like that's gonna be 20 years from now. All of those moments are still gonna be in the intro video.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, of like WWE.
I'll go with this one moment. You wrote 11/12/2001. WWE retires / adds another title. The Hardy Boys defeated Booker T and Test on Raw to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. Also on the same show, Edge defeated Kurt Angle to become the final WCW United States Champion. The title would be deactivated at Survivor Series later that month before being resurrected as a WWE title in 2003.
And then the clip that I put in here was actually because that's when he won the IC title, but then the actual unification is when he beats Test, and that's when it's retired. And then, do you know who the first United States champion is when it's brought back in 2003? Because that makes Edge is the last WCW, U.S. champion.
No, I don't.
Eddie.
Oh,
and that whole match or that whole pay-per-view was the tournament for the U.S. championship.
Okay.
And that final was Chris Benoit and Eddie. And Eddie wins.
That's dope.
Yep. So that's where I was gonna put that on here, but I was like, I can remember that for the little quiz in here because I didn't want to type it in and you just read it already.
Read it,
yeah. But my next one, I'll go with
all three of these.
I mean, I'll go with the New Japan one for sure because this is just the match.
Okay.
But just the match recommendation of the week, this is 11/11, 2014, my birthday. Prince Devitt, who we know as Finn Balor, beating Low Ki to win his first New Japan Junior Heavyweight title. So I was able to find at least like a clippage of it. It's not the entire match, but it is like 12 minutes where somebody's able to get most of the grapples and stuff in. So that's the match recommendation. And then the next one, okay, pretty obvious because of the star power here, but Brock Lesnar, this is a moment. I just think a historical moment, but November 15th, 2008, I put this as Brock being one of the GOATs of combat sports. UFC 91, he won the heavyweight title of UFC, making him the first person to win the heavyweight championship in WWE, New Japan, NCAA, and the UFC. And it's like the only other thing you could put there would be K1, but that's just not in his generation. Like K1 had already been lessened, I guess, at that point. So for you to just be like all combat sports, when I think about just major titles,
the only thing you would need is like an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah, then you would be like holy shit, because that would be the next like amateur thing above like because he's what 2-time state like Minnesota state champion or something like that, a national champion. So yeah, that's just a historical. I was like, holy shit, Brock is really that nigga for real. Like he actually is
not to be messed with.
Exactly, for real. But thank God he likes to. I like face Brock. When he's just like growing his beard out, and he's just sitting on his farm in Canada. I like face Brock. I would like him to come back like that. And we might remember this moment. This was also a match, but I called this NXT's 1-2-3 Kid. You remember this match when Leon Ruff beat Johnny Gargano?
I don't even know who Leon Ruff is.
Exactly. That's what the book around. I was like, yo, I completely forgot about it. I was like, holy shit, I remember that. Because he was kind of like clearly looking back at this, it's like, oh yeah, they were trying to make a swing at Javon, what Javon is now, but he's like way shorter. But yeah, they put the strap on him, and it was like, oh holy shit, kind of reminds me of like when I guess I want to say like when Cena made KO with the US title and everything. But I guess that's another match or like just a moment to remember. It's like, oh yeah, that happened this week. That holy shit, like Leon Ruff. In and out the door, North American champion.
It happens.
Yep.
And we are done with the gallery.
Yep, for sure.
Stacked one this week. We don't have much current events, so I guess it makes it up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the last show of the week. The Boutique. SmackDown. You were ahead of me on putting stuff in.
Yep. Yeah, had to be. You carried the beginning of the week. And I put a lot in the book of wrestling. But the best thing on here, the primo, continues to be the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Retention, or I don't want to say retentions, but the open challenges.
Yeah.
From Ilya Dragunov, giving it to Axiom this week. Axia, I mean, you're getting out. I mean, these are just book it, amazing matches every single week. Getting the backflipping springboard DDT that Axiom gave to, Ilya Dragunov near the end of that match. Like, not that he's going to lose, but it's like when you talk about 2.99999, it's like, we understand that the refs pull it, but that was one of those like, he kicked out, but all right. Fucking, and then just him going for the golden ratio, like that whole last sequence. And then I remember you said you loved it. Just the fact, like, they say a good finisher is you can do it to anybody. Yeah. And he just throws his butt like it's more like a cannonball. You're like, this is just a flying headbutt. That's all this is.
And then he just dead bodies fall, like, dead weights, like the
H-bomb,
say that to your face.
1, 2, 3. But that was amazing. Absolutely. Man, Axiom was getting his chest chopped off too.
This entire time. That was definitely the best thing on the show. I give that a primo.
Yeah.
And then I agree with your mids. Jey Uso beating the Miz. And last time is now.
Man, that was a really good. I mean, they're really treating the tournament with respect. Yeah,
Miz is some of John Cena's old moves, 5-knuckle shuffle and all that stuff.
Yep, and he hit like the protoplex, that spin around, like Lego, sort of backdrop.
But Jey Uso gets the win.
Yeah, yep, of course. I mean, maybe not of course, but because for sure, I mean, I would think Jay deserves to be around the title. He is a major contender. It's I guess it's just how much are we supposed to
the title, or I guess you're putting it for the title.
Yeah, the last time is now. I'm predicting that Cena's holding the title until Saturday night's main event. I'm just like kind of guaranteeing that. You're saying there's a possibility. Sure, he drops it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he might drop it on Monday, but if not, then I guess the title would be on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
At Saturday night.
And you're giving it to somebody. Yeah. Like you're seen as making somebody on the way out the door. You would imagine. Unless we're going to get a title redesign. And he just takes, he's like, this is the one time I ever got it. I'm not letting this go. And he retires IC champ. But yeah, I wouldn't have that either. Like he's been too much of a face. So, but yeah, getting even the spot of like, Miz got, Jay up on the second rope, about to hit the skull crushing finale. I'm like, are we doing this? Like, Miz about to pull this off? Like, nah, he isn't. But it was great. This is another one of those times where I'm like, all right, it's not that Miz ain't got shit in the tank. Miz can do something out here. You know what I'm saying?
He's got to have his feud with Carmelo.
Yeah.
Got that going on.
For sure.
The other one was LA Knight getting the win over his surprise opponent.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder. Not Matt Cardona. Yeah. Zack Ryder.
That's trash. I would have put this as a primo if they would have had him as Matt Cardona. That's why I was like, they're never gonna WWE
that
has to control.
Brings this match down is the fact that it was Zack Ryder.
Exactly. That's the only.
But I get it.
Like acknowledge the progression. That's all I'm saying. It's like Zack Ryder left.
It's not about acknowledging the progression. It's about the money-making aspect of it. It's like we own his trademark.
Yeah, obviously. But it's like, nope, money comes first. Like, we get to make money off of Zack Ryder, not Matt Cardona. So, but still a great surprise and good showing from him.
Yeah,
for sure. We get to see him, hit all of his Zack Ryder moves, the woo boot, and the Rough Rider, which I forget what he calls that now, but he still does that on the Indies and TNA and everything. So that's still his finisher. But yeah, LA Knight getting the W.
Do you think Zack Ryder is back? He did say like when he was out on there, he's like, I'm back, but I don't know if it's just back for the night or is he like back on like a WWE television.
I saw that as for the night.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw that. But I mean, obviously couples. I mean, SmackDown has become the couple show more than anything.
You could say that's the TNA, crossover that they said.
That's what I would file that under. Yeah.
He was like, anybody could be in this tournament. So
that's what I would
even people that don't work in this company. So.
Yeah. I would file that under, TNA. But it's funny because if you're acknowledging him as TNA, then that would be Matt Cardona. But it's like, once again, he has to go through the WWE portal.
Yeah.
And then he turns into Zack Ryder. But whatever. Still a good showing from both of them. So those were the top featured things. The shake that I had was basically the setup. And we got, this also went along with the backstage segment afterwards. But Sammy calling out Solo Sikoa and Solo not being taking kindly to that and being like, because I'm just gonna wait till. I like how he's. I don't know why you would be waiting for you to be medically cleared. I guess it's just because you don't want to pay the fine. But I'm like, or maybe you're gonna get suspended. But I mean, that would be inherently heelish to just attack him anyway. I'm like, why not do that? You know what I mean? But we get Solo saying like, oh, I got honor. I guess he's in fear of something why he wouldn't do it. But he's like, oh, I can't wait till you're medically cleared, so I'm gonna put these paws on you. And then Sammy's like, no, I already got medically cleared. Take a swing if you want to. You got bigger problems. And I do like the fact that it has been like everybody you've seen them like in these backstage segments for the last 3-4 weeks. MFTs walking around since they painted their faces, just bullying people. All these people that come out. Ray Phoenix. Who else came out? He gets back up. Shinsuke. Basically,
Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns. There we go.
Which is the War Game match.
Exactly. And then we get the later announcement from Nick Aldis that's going to be the traditional. That's the traditional 5-on-5
match that's happening on SmackDown.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, that's cool that we're getting a return to form with just that.
Yeah.
So I did like that because
I'll give that a shake as well.
Yeah, but I like if anything, it's like, okay, we're still connected. It feels like it's nothing, but it is the connective tissue that's taking them through this.
Yeah.
I guess I would say do you think MFTs are winning this? Or you think this is like the Sammy kind of? This is the first time we've seen Sammy since he's been laid out by MFTs, right?
I think so.
That was like how many weeks ago? Because they were making a big deal about his return. You know what I'm saying? He lost the title to Dragunov.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like this might have been.
It's only been 3 weeks.
3 weeks? It's only been 3 weeks. Okay, so yeah, we haven't seen him since then.
Maybe 2 weeks. But yeah. I would say Sammy and the team probably might have the edge right now. I wouldn't say it's a big edge, but I would say it's probably like 55 or like 52-48.
Yeah. And you were talking about how great, Ray Phoenix looked in this because he did that spinning tornado.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, Tala Tonga. I didn't say this to you in the moment, or not Tala. Crap. Tongaloa. Yeah. He's infecting the rest of the guys. They're starting to suck because on that spot, both him and the person who was most out of position was JC Mateo. Like, didn't touch Ray, at all. And even the selling of it, I was just like, bro, you gotta be better than that. Are you kidding me?
I was hooked on the spinning tornado that I was like, man.
That you were like, man, that was dope.
Yeah.
And I guess we didn't put this on here, but I know you said you didn't care about it. But we also got Logan Paul coming out and working over Cody.
Yeah.
I know you gotta acknowledge it's the champion. And I really Cody he put. Who did he defend the title against? Oh, against Braun. Oh yeah, we put that on here.
I didn't really. I mean, I if anything, I only care for it that Drew. And
it's gonna fit. Yeah,
and,
fit if it's there.
Indefinitely suspension and all that stuff. So just for the Drew aspect of it,
I would have that as a primo.
I just have that probably as my mid.
I would have the Drew coming back immediately. I think that's a primo because. I mean, obviously, we watch it together. You saw my reaction, and I was like, "I love that." Drew don't give a fuck. What you gonna do? Suspend me again? I don't care. Do something. I guess you can find me more. I guess that's what's gonna happen. Double the fine. But yeah, just interrupting the match when Cody's clearly gonna win, obviously, and then just Claymore, I don't give a fuck, and then I like that. I mean, it's funny because he's standing with all of them, but Drew's still the biggest guy because he's so fucking tall. And the last thing I'll mention, also Shake, the Cody character work I mentioned with Paul Heyman. I love that stuff because you feel the gravity of Paul Heyman with Cody, with him being so old school. And it's really like he understands the manipulator that he is better than anybody else. You know, like Paul Heyman arguably is the leader of the Vision. You know what I'm saying? Even without Seth here.
Yeah.
Like, because we were almost kind of telling that story of like Braun specifically being like, you know, the wild dog that can't be, you know, contained and everything. But we always see Heyman like, hey, calm down, you know, like he's able to talk him down. So even just substituting it like that, kind of like a Don Callis sense where it's like, oh, these are my fucking dudes that I can sick on you. I'd like just that, but that's a different spin on it. I mean, clearly it's Braun is the leader, but that's kind of how I'm still with this episode. It really put that in the forefront of my mind where I was like, that would be dope as fuck.
That would be dope.
Because then you can just have anybody associated with Paul Heyman, a Paul Heyman guy, you know, is that nigga or is going to be in the future. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's already kind of been his whole motif.
Yeah, exactly.
Career, but yeah, I mean, it would be dope if it would be dope if in both cases, like both Bronson and Braun held the world championships.
Yeah.
Like Bronson wins the fucking world heavyweight championship and Braun wins the belt over up against Cody. And then that's both Paul Heyman guys walk into the ring every Monday and Friday.
Are the champions? Yeah.
As the champions.
Yeah, you got.
And then you add in like a tag team, like Javon Evans and Leon Slater, and they win the tag team.
Yeah.
Like that'd be dope.
Hell yeah. Or oh yeah, never mind. No, Judgment Day is another thing. But anyway, I was thinking Raquel because you know I told you I would love for Raquel to be like the dominant force of like the IC.
That'd be dope.
Women's division.
That'd be dope.
But that would be going from one faction to another. But even still, like she's an Adonis of a woman to put there.
Paul Heyman's a recruiter.
Yeah, for sure. That's what. Yeah, you got to build that story. If he can recruit,
he's still trying to keep Becky after they jumped Seth.
True.
So
true. No, I actually like. See, now I want this to happen. See now, like because like you said, if we would have had the holy shit top shelf of Bronson Reed is all of a sudden WWE champion, and then
Bronson
Reed WWE champion, and then Braun Breaker world heavyweight champion.
No, vice versa.
Well, I'm saying last night.
Oh, last night.
If he would have won.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they're coming down. Both of his guys are champion. That's a lot of gravitas. Like, I'm listening to what you got to say. Like, for sure. I see where you're at in your career. I can take you from here to here. Be the first Paul Heyman gal. Like, oh shit, yeah, she gonna chew on that for a minute. Are you kidding me? But anyway,
maybe that's Roxanne.
Recruit her. That prodigy. Hell yeah.
You also had one more Shake.
Yeah, let me open this back
Jake
up.
Cargill swapped in BFAB.
Shake because we're building.
We predicted it last week.
That's exactly. I predicted it last week. Yeah, saying like it was like, and what's hilarious is that I remember what happened was really Jade is all presence, and she's still. I mean, everybody's a work in progress, but the presence, the look. When she came out, we were in the middle of a conversation and shut the fuck up. And I remember I stayed for her entrance. I remember I went in there to get water.
Yeah.
And like make a drink and shit. And I came back out and the match was over.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, she squashed her. I was in there for like 3 minutes.
You didn't miss a single thing. It was like there was no offense. Not that I can think of that came from BFAB. So
yep. And then we get Michin.
But I just hope it works out. Yeah, Michin.
Yeah, tried to show up for her girl. And it's like Jade's like, get the fuck out my way before I beat your ass.
So another squash match will be in the car. Again, I think if it all leads up to like Jade just squashing everybody, even like she'll have a Royal Rumble match with Charlotte for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Squash Charlotte. Like that. What I said, and then maybe she has an Elimination Chamber match against Bianca. Squashes her. And let's say what I said last night.
Yeah. Your triple threat.
Get into the WrestleMania triple threat with Charlotte, Bianca, and Jade for her title. And then she squashes both of them and then pins both of them at the same time, like Roman Reigns. Did
putting them over.
Danielson and Edge?
Yeah. That's how you do it for sure.
That's how like if you're gonna have her squash, like that's how you got to do it
for sure. Because like I said, even if it is 1-on-1, like because Bianca, how many times has Bianca won the Royal Rumble? Has she won twice?
I think she won once. Maybe she won twice.
Okay, all right. She's definitely won it once. Yeah. So everybody gets. I mean, if you're at the top of the card, you're gonna get at least 2. You know what I'm saying? If you're one of the featured, which she is. So her winning the Royal Rumble and going to Mania, I would still have her losing that. Like I said, I would have that as a direct echo to Tiffany Stratton, because that's the exact same thing that you did with Tiffany and Charlotte last year, where it's like, we know even as a character that like it's a big gap, but to put her over, that would be more than a star making a performance if she Brock Lesnar's Bianca in fucking WrestleMania. The same way we was like
Bianca and Charlotte though.
Well, yeah. My booking was just straight up Bianca. Bianca returns, wins the Rumble, and now it's
that's coming off of a Brock Lesnaring of Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, all right, we put her in a different stratosphere if we doing this, because the same way we had Charlotte come back, and we was both like, oh, she don't got a fucking chance immediately, and then Tiffany beats her. It's like, okay, exactly. It's like saying that, okay. You're at the top of the card, no doubt.
But that is it for DC. And we get to the Champions Week, and you got all of them. I ain't got one this week.
Yeah, my whole thing this week was quantity, maybe not quality, because I didn't put a whole lot of effort into the titles this week, but these were things that were worth mentioning. The only one that has an official title would be the Ron Simmons title going to William Regal, which is literally, when the legend shows up just for their one-word catchphrase, and that's all that happened.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So this is the Ron Simmons damn title going to William Regal. So that, if anything, that's definitely on the mantle in the gallery for sure as an official one. This one absolutely must come with a title. I sent this. This was so knee-jerk that I had to send you this earlier in the week. And this is a terrible name, but the Gooning title to Kendra Lust. For those of you know, if you know, you know, but it's all in her last name. For Kendra Lust, it goes to Kendra Lust for giving us hope, because I see this screenshot capture of Kendra Lust in the Instagram live of Mercedes Moné backstage at probably Blood and Guts or one of these recent shows, and her just commenting, "One day when we see each other, I hope we can make a fun clip." Praising emoji, fire emoji, heart emoji, and then Mercedes actually responding, meaning she must know exactly who she is, and just saying gulp with a money tongue out emoji. For if you know, you know, and do not. This is above you. So you're saying it's a chance. It cannot get that. It cannot get that title. That's I'm not saying overused, but that's more of a easier one to give out. This is a different scale.
Yeah.
This is for even the thought of that.
This is just you feeding into the strip club economy.
Yeah, exactly. Like for
it's
real.
A bunch of teas that's never going to happen.
My God, are you serious? The thought of that.
That's what they want you to have. The thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
you're never gonna see it. Last one.
The last one goes to, honestly, just AEW Blood and Guts, but I don't know. Like I was saying, it must be the Japanese tables, but I knew I had this as a champion, so I know this is but instead of I am the table, it's a multiple because we had 4 tables in Blood and Guts between men's and women's that just refused to break and had to be double cracked or double used in order to finally break. So I was like, man, they are really getting after it with these tables.
These are high quality tables.
As good as these matches were, the main characters of both of these were the tables. So
They did not get these tables from the Dollar Tree.
No, these are not pre-worked at all. These are hard ass picnic installed at the park tables. That's what but they was using, but quantity over quality. But there was one official one in there, and like I said,
some good ones. I saw you had 3. I was like, I can take a week off.
Yeah, just.
But that's the show
for sure.
Episode 71 in the books. Anything else you want to say before you take us off?
I mean, probably the usual. To like, comment, subscribe here. Follow us every Saturday in the afternoon for the most part.
Yeah.
Here on this channel, live. Everything at The Wrestling Re-Up. Send us an email at thewrestlingreup@gmail.com for any of your bookings, thoughts, you want us to talk about something. Engage. Shout out to y'all.
Peace.